Remember a couple of weeks ago when Phuzzybond released his most powerful way to solo sloop in Sea of Thieves video? Well, I decided to take him up on this challenge, to break through the virtual skill wall with the difficulty set to 11, as instructed in the video. Fighting off a duo sloop patrolling a fort of fortune, coming back a second time, all the while defending myself and my ship all alone. We'll take them to the Sea Dog's trap, we'll loop around the islands, we'll even try to appeal to them. You can take the loot. And gosh, anything can happen when you're a solo slooper in today's Tales of Getting Booty. On this voyage, a particularly strong crew patrolled the waters nearby a fort of fortune. They had no interest in doing the fort, and actively attacked any ship that approached. Clearly, these pirates were looking to sharpen their swords and practice their aim, a challenge which I gladly rose to. According to Phuzzybond, getting intel on an enemy crew is vital in order to win any battle, especially as a solo, and so I sword lunged from the side of my ship so as not to be instantly seen, and attempted a board. These pirates weren't going to let me board their ship that easily though, and so I continued my course toward the Sea Dog Tavern, in preparation to strike with the cannon trap. As they sailed into the path of the cannon I was stationed at, the glint of their spyglass informed me that, well, they knew what I was up to. With only a single hole in their vessel before it became out of range, I attempted another board. In situations like this, I find talking to be an effective measure, as some crews' guards can be lowered depending on what you have to say. Those of you who saw my How to Stop Runners video will remember that this strategy actually worked against another duo sloop. Guys, wait. Let's talk. Do you want to do the fourth? You can take the loot. Yeah, that wasn't very convincing. Not my best work. With the return to my ship, chain shots littered the skies, theirs having trouble bridging the gap, but mine was able to connect with their mast. However, I needed to keep my sails down, as one of the crew members continued to fire chain shots aimed toward my mast. I would have to sacrifice a good cannon angle in order to keep my mast from falling. I delayed adjusting my turning circle in order to continue firing shots at their ship, but the choppy waves were making it hard to see, giving them the opportunity they needed to repair their mast and counterattack. It was this moment that cost me my mast, and as I tried to catch it from fully falling, I noticed their boarding attempt and readied myself. It was over. My ship had taken too much damage, and by the time I'd return, it would have already met its watery end. However, fortune smiled at me. My respawn location was at an outpost, and not only that, but some kind soul had left ample supplies outside the tavern entrance. I would have another chance to fight this deadly duo sloop. Before setting out for combat, I changed the cosmetics of my ship in order to play some mind games with the enemy crew. If they were to not know it was me again right away, it may lower their guards a fraction and allow me an opening to strike. And yes, they were easy to find, patrolling the seas around the Fort of Fortune as they had done in our initial encounter. And so I took them around a small island where I attempted to outrange them. Their long-range cannon aim had been lacking throughout our encounter, which gave me another chance to even the playing field. But as I did this, they cornered the island, cutting extremely close to the craggy shoreline, allowing their broadside the closest range possible, bombarding the wooden exterior of my sloop with cannon fire. Anticipating a boarding attempt from one of the crewmen, I stood on the bowsprit of my ship, avoiding their cannonballs and awaiting the inevitable duel. This pirate legend was no match for me, but I couldn't say the same for the rocky crag jutting out of the waves I was about to crash into. With the repairs finished in the hull of my ship, I turned the wheel left and prepared my counterattack. But as I did so, the chain shots once again flew from their ship, forcing me to straighten out to avoid my mast being destroyed once more. Lunging off from the canopy of my sloop, I attempted another board, but of course it would get me nowhere. They would guard the ladders with their lives. My only option would be to pin them in naval combat, a challenge that felt more impossible with each iteration of our battles. They were too efficient with their repairs, and their helmsman brilliant at maneuvering. It was nigh impossible to get a good angle on their ship, with only myself filling all the roles needed to win a fight of this caliber. As I attempted to bring my ship into position, they were on me, changing their sail length to counter the position I was trying to create for myself. And as I altered my wheel, I knew I had made a mistake. A chain shot came whirling through the air, knocking my mast over in one fell swoop. I caught it before it would fully collapse, and repaired it with a single board of wood as their ship approached from the left side. And so I dropped sails immediately as they tried to knock my mast down a second time, while the other crewmate tried to board my vessel. I didn't notice him miss the ladder as I searched either side of the ship, anticipating him to appear on the top deck any second. He missed, clearly, when all of a sudden I heard the distinct sound of a sword lunge. He had died to the fire when suddenly a rogue keg that had littered the water struck my vessel. It was unfair, and I felt cheated and defeated. Still, that is the Sea of Thieves experience at times. And as I pulled myself back together from the brink of mental defeat, I bailed water. It was a futile attempt as they were approaching, ready to pepper the remains of my sloop with cannonballs. With one last battle fueling me, I readied my sword to lunge across the waves when... I'm the best solo slooper in Sea of Thieves, because my mum said so. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Wouldn't want to miss a new upload now, would ya? Oh, and hit the bell to stay notified for the next Tales of Getting Booty.